Welcome, everyone. My name is Dima. I'm today with you with my colleague and friend Daniel. We both represent the product marketing team. Hi, everyone.
Hello,
Uh,
everyone.
yeah. Our today's topic is, for me personally, it's exciting for the whole company. And this is the AI technician, how to master it, what the fuss is all about, and what are the maybe not all the bolts and nuts, but some how to configure it, what to be aware of, and what to keep in mind when you're considering starting using this piece of technology that comes from 2025. So let's begin, and we'll share my screen and we'll show you some slides. So just some organizational and housekeeping moments before we begin. So I will share the content of this today's presentation, some housekeeping rules. We will cover today what IT Autopilot is, how does it compare to the Copilot that we also have. Microsoft's Copilot is something else. Um, so we will see real life examples, both on the end user side and how it looks like on the admin's console, how they create the synergy. We'll also discuss what makes it unique, and we will answer open questions. Before we begin, a quick round of introduction. As I said, I'm Dima. I'm the technical product marketing manager at Atera. Daniel,
I'm
mic to you.
Daniel. I'm a product marketing manager also here at Atera.
Yeah, and before we begin, just to say it once again out loud. So the recording, everyone who attends today's session gets the recording. The Q&A session is located right next to the chat tab. So we are inviting you to ask your questions there. We will try to answer as many of them as possible. We will be aiming at questions which are beneficial for the group. So if something there is very specific, we will approach to you directly right after, and we will be in contact with our like account managers and account executive teams, depending on where you are in the process, just casually looking, or an existing customer of Atera. And there will be a very quick but very important survey at the end, and we will appreciate your feedback. Without further ado, I would suggest us to begin. First and foremost, there are so many AI tools out there, and Atera has two AI tools too. The first AI tool that we presented quite some time ago was AI Copilot, and the Copilot was designed to help technicians to get as much work done as possible, to be productive, to be efficient, reduce the time answering to tickets, analyzing them efficiently, stop waiting for the end user's consent to remote into their device, and the list goes on and on. And this is what AI Copilot is all about. Okay, so this is technician performance oriented tool. IT Autopilot is something else. IT Autopilot is something that accompanies the Atera agent, and Atera agent, if you are like seeing Atera for the first time and you're just curious how it works, basically Atera, like any other RMM tool, is using an agent to be installed in a machine, and based on this machine, it allows you to do certain actions. Before AI, it allows you to do the classic RMM activities, and also we have the PSA component, aka the help desk and the reporting. So, but you can manage the tickets. We have been always positioned as an all-in-one platform, and this is why we combine all those tools together. And it was a natural evolution for us to incorporate the AI component and not just the chat functionality of it, but also something else. What makes it all unique? Um, in a nutshell, and Daniel, prove me right or wrong, but this is how I understand it. We can discuss it together. But in a nutshell, IT Autopilot is something that uh, analyzes the telemetry from your device, like all those crazy numbers, IP addresses, software installed, who is logged in, from where, and tries to help your end users to give them instant response, reduce the downtime, prevent the waiting time for the technician to respond to their ticket. Maybe they have something urgent. And also help them to get to work faster and maybe save them from being late for a meeting, not being able to log into a meeting, and I don't know, go on a business trip without stress. And many people are stressed because it doesn't have to be about IT 100%, but other departments and organizations are also welcome. Daniel, maybe something to add from you.
True, true. Think about it as your personal IT technician that for every question that you have, for every IT issue that you have, you can approach IT Autopilot and it will answer you immediately.
Yeah. So just, to put things in perspective, I mean, like a fun fact, like we, us humans, we type at like 50, 60 words per minute. AI at 2025 types at more than 300. And we talk about 220 words per minute, if I remember this correctly, which saves time on its own. And but what like okay, typing is one thing, and speaking to a chatbot is something that many people experienced already, like any other AI tool out there on the market. However, what makes, again, let's go back to Terra. What makes it truly unique is that it also knows the device you're talking to it from. With that being said, it can do certain actions, and they belong to very different areas. So to do something on your computer, the list is very long, and but to name a few, it can reset your clock, reset your Bluetooth adapter, help you to reconnect to the Wi-Fi, and install a missing piece of software, correct the startup apps, and the list is so long that probably will take me the entire session to go through it. But instead, I will show it to you shortly because a picture is worth 1,000 words. And um, and right before we begin, so what are the main benefits of having such technology in your organization? So for end users, as I said, so no more waiting for IT support. The help comes immediately. It's 24/7, is always available. Maybe some end users tend to be shying away from asking certain questions to sound like, maybe, I don't know, maybe they just joined the company and they hear too many acronyms. Maybe they want to ask something about like a software that is being used, and to like prevent confusing situations, and maybe they don't feel that comfortable. AI resolves this issue, and it also reduces the waiting time until they find the person to whom they are comfortable talking to. For IT teams, it takes away the noise of all those tickets that could have been just a reset, or maybe just like a yes no type of answer, or maybe it could have been a swiftly provided KB article where you can basically start resolving your issues right away. And for the organization, it converts to like into huge numbers of time savings, which can be multiplied by the hourly rates of your IT technicians. And it's a pretty easy math equation when it comes to the ROI. And you get it almost from like day one. As soon as you have the core elements, which I will talk about in a second, um, it starts not to be just an AI assistant. It starts to become your AI assistant. And this is the probably one of the most important things to that it's yours. It knows what your company does, and it helps you because it knows you, and it knows how you do things in your organization. Guys, a quick reminder: you can submit all your questions in the Q&A section. You're more than welcome, and we will try to respond them at the end of today's session. Okay, demo time. So we will be demonstrating several things. First, we will demonstrate how the settings look like, how to use it, how to start using it, and most importantly, how it looks like from the end user's perspective, what they see, how they start interacting with the system. Because for them, nothing is more important than the first experience. Because if they have a swift first-time experience, they're probably going to stay with the tool. Usually this is how like our practice goes, and I come from the professional services area, and we've done a lot of implementation processes throughout my career, and we've seen how significantly changes uh, the attitude towards the technology as soon as it is welcoming, it's responsive, and it uh, feels like home. I don't know how to say it better. Daniel, maybe you can. Okay, give me just a second. I will switch my screens.
So remember that in the meanwhile, till Dima comes up with the demo, remember that IT Autopilot is like a goalkeeper. He's letting you know which things he's going to solve for you, for the end user of your company, and which things he's going to escalate to you in order you get less tier one tickets and you can focus on tier two or more urgent or priority projects.
That is very true. Okay, so where does it begin? As I said, like a quick step back to the foundations of Atera. As I said, it all starts with an agent. An agent is attaching to a device. So this is our device for today's demonstration. It's a real laptop. Comes from a brand called Lenovo. You can see the hardware data. You can see how much space do I have. You see that there is a person who is logged in to the device. So probably AI should know. Whenever you're talking to AI should know that it's you. For the organization, it all begins at a company level in the AI center, because this is where just an AI tool becomes yours. What does it mean? So it all starts with an overview dashboard, which we'll get a little bit later in the demonstration. So we have the core setup that allows you to activate it for selective sites or selective customers or all at once. We give you the ability to configure it the way you like it. It all starts with should you disable the ability for your end users to submit the regular tickets and direct them to AI assistant first. Because for many organizations, from my experience, the hardest part is to do the cultural shift. And Daniel, maybe you've seen this too, like while studying the customer use cases, that usually if users are so used to the emails as their entry point, I usually tend to lean into the old method rather than doing something new, because we humans are very conservative creatures. So, and as you can see, we complement it with the respective settings. So the create tickets using the autopilot only. Should every chat be converted into the IT ticket? What does it mean? So should the IT ticket appear in the system right away as soon as the conversation with the AI assistant from the end users, with the end user starts? And should you involve autopilot into the tickets, which are sent the old method, aka the email? Uh, Daniel, wanted to say something?
Yes, as you can see, IT Autopilot can be your frontier for every ticket, but not only from the email as many may be used to use, but we have another channels also. IT Autopilot, Dima is going to show it, can be integrated with Slack or can be integrated with Teams. So the idea, as Dima said, we want people to approach IT Autopilot from where they are.
Yeah, because in your organization, maybe the ticket portal is not that common. Maybe people tend to prefer to send it using the email. Maybe they prefer walk-ups, or maybe they prefer something else. But as we know, most organizations out there in 2025 use one of those two messengers mentioned on the screen. As Daniel said, it can be Slack, it can be Teams. These two are the most common ones in the enterprise space, and it basically gives you the ability to start a chat right from the messenger without the need of opening anything else, and the response time shrinks significantly. And the most importantly is not only that it's relatively easy to connect everything, but you give users the option to submit the tickets their way. Not only submitting the tickets, but you also give them the ability to install whitelisted software on top of the actions that the end user can do themselves. But you can see, depending on the type of the device, you can allow to install different types of software, which you can whitelist according to your company's policy. And depending on how you want to approach it, it can be from a public repo like Chocolatey or Winget, which we support, and also it can come from your private repository, and we are like inviting you to connect Azure Artifacts, JFrog Artifactory, or MyGit. So anything can be achieved here. So if you have any type of proprietary software, if you work in an industry which involves any type of production, maybe you work in an automotive sector and you're trying to, manage like your worker who is working at an assembly line trying to install certain piece of software which is proprietary to your organization, it's also doable. Certain self-service actions. So it's mostly about like doing a remote action. Like for instance, like you left the office, you forgot your device on the desk. Can you lock the screen? Can it be like reset? Maybe like you just need to make sure that the locked screen can be your savior. Maybe your security team is not happy about it because again, clean desk policy is a thing in many organizations right now. But where does let's switch gears to the next topic, which is the AI knowledge. What do I mean by that? So AI knowledge comes from two places. Number one is your knowledge base. The knowledge base is where your company data is stored, and the more, the merrier. Why is that? Because all the data that exists in those tickets is being indexed and being presumed that it's part of the AI brain. So the out of the box AI comes uh, trained on the general IT knowledge. However, it doesn't know how you do things specifically. I will demonstrate an example in a minute or so. So the knowledge base, as you can see, uh, in our demo environment, it's quite extensive. We've been adding KB articles over and over again, but also we invite you to do the same. So as soon as you have access to uh, uh, IT Autopilot, or you're having an AI Copilot from us, you will have access to actionable insights. This is where AI starts to study your organization, and it will give you suggestions how it can become smart and help you better either do your job or perform your day-to-day tasks. What I mean by that is like, uh, for instance, as soon as the ticket gets resolved, it analyzes the ticket context, finds similarities with some other tickets. It can be like based on the 2 tickets. It can be based on 13 tickets, maybe something that you do quite frequently. And it gives you the ability to convert the tickets into a KB article. And it preloads it and gives you the ability to review and inject it. After several minutes, it becomes part of its knowledge, part of its brain. It becomes more educated and it knows better how you do things in your organization. Of course, you can categorize it, and categories for if we have people from the MSP industry, very common question. So, can you make it customer specific? Yes. So, the short answer is yes. A bit longer answer is that I'm in the IT department environment. It's called sites there. In the MSP environment, it's called customers. So you can create customer-specific KB articles so they don't overlap if you are sharing any type of knowledge which is customer-specific. Moving on from there, in the AI Center, there is a second extremely important component, which is custom instructions. What is it? So if you ever used an AI tool, it's like a custom instructions basically predefines before it goes into the so-called background prompting, which is embedded by the creator of this AI model. It's a like prerequisite regarding how it should be thinking, how it should be responding, and what it should be keeping in mind to make those answers more meaningful. For instance, like in like the company description, I let it know that Atari is like an all-in-one ITRM and help desk solution powered by AI Autopilot and Copilot. The second section that we can see here is the software. Software is something that is very specific to your organization. So it's good to know your tech stack. Which software do you use? And most importantly, if you are approaching the structure your organization not by like offices, but maybe by departments, you can create department specific uh, software stack. And as you can see right now, we can use sites to make it geo-specific. So maybe your HQ is located in New York and you have branch offices in Brazil, you may have offices in South Africa, maybe have an office in Australia, and they can have not the very same stack as your HQ. Maybe in HQ you have a creative team, and maybe the developers sit in Australia. So they will be probably using different pieces of software, and you need AI to know whenever they will ask for something that they're not supposed to be having, because some of the software can come with a paid license, which can cause an extra cost. And if they install and activate it somehow, this expense is on the organization, which we probably want to avoid. Last but not least, something that I remember from my early days in IT. I used to be working for one of the largest vendors. And I remember during my onboarding phase, I was exposed to 5 pages worth of acronyms and slang, which is used in the organization. Usually happens to a big organization to have like a lot of acronyms. Maybe things don't mean what they usually mean. The first example that comes to my mind is I had a customer in my professional services days that was using GPS, and it had nothing to do with the maps. It was not the global positioning system, but it was a global procurement system. Okay, and apparently by defining this specific acronym, we avoided the AI to be confused whenever AI was responding to any type of question in regards to uh, what do you mean, how should I respond, and everything in between. One more thing that I forgot to mention in the actionable insights, but I find it extremely important that AI can also do something that it is not allowed to do by default. By not allowed to do by default, I mean guardrails. So basically, you don't want the AI to go completely crazy and do stuff that you didn't allow it to. For instance, it can search for files on a laptop, it can search for folders on a laptop, but by default, it cannot delete those files. Why? Because it needs an end user consent and it can do things on its own. With that being said, if you have a need to create like an action which is beyond the guardrails, you can create a script, which is located in the admin monitoring automation scripts, and you will see that which scripts and which actions are allowed to Copilot for aka for technicians and for autopilot. So end users can execute those safe scripts. And those scripts can appear based on if you're using Splashtop as your RMM tool while using Atera. They all can come from also from AI insights. As you can see, there is a second item on the menu besides the article. There's also a script. So based on a remote session by a technician, we came up with a script. Sometimes your technicians will be doing like the same action over and over again, and probably your technician might benefit from doing something else, something more strategic, and end users might benefit from an instant action with a little bit of verification in the process, rather than your technician going in and doing something manually. Because if you're using Splashtop, the any remote session that was started will the logs of the session will be captured, analyzed, and summarized. What do I mean by that? If we go back to our device, which we are using today for the demonstration, you can see, oops, sorry, I'm trying to do the zoom factor, which is comfortable for you. And as you can see, so I did a remote session today, and you can see the A button here too. You can click on generate summary, and you can see what technician did. So basically, I accessed the laptop and did certain subset of actions, then exited the machine. So if those actions fall into, let's say, PowerShell capabilities, it can become a script. It can be scripted if it can be done using PowerShell. That being said, you can automate an action, and as you can see, my remote session lasted 17 minutes. If it was a script, it was a basic technician action. For the end user, it could have been shrunk down to 20 to 30 seconds, maybe a minute, but you immediately see the difference in the time of like execution. Okay. Uh, what else? What else? So how do we engage with the portal? So how do we engage with AI? So several entry points for the end users. And to show you how the end user experience looks like, I will remote into my test device, and we will see it live in action. Okay. So let me remote into this device, and I will move Atera to the side probably. Maybe make it even smaller. Okay. Let me know if everything is okay and you can see it. And yeah, and if I should zoom in, because it's a very popular ask in the
Yes,
goal
let's
test. And
zoom
by the
in
way,
in order they see IT Autopilot bigger.
okay, yeah, guys, I will be having the Atera console. Yeah, I think it's much better. Tell me in the chat if it's okay, should be bigger. And also in the bottom right corner, you will see the magnification option, so you can zoom in if you don't see it well. Okay, so this is how the end users experience the portal. How they access this portal, so basically they have the Atari agent, exactly what I began with. So as soon as they have an Atari agent, it gets activated, and then they can either start an AI assistant right on their desktop, which is this icon I purposefully placed in here, or they can go to the portal and create a new ticket, and when they click, they go through the authentication process. It can be both like regular, like login and password and SSO. And as soon as they access, Atari will know that it's their laptop and it's them who is using this specific account. What does it allow it to? So basically, it gives Atera the upper hand in any type of conversation when it comes to your laptop. What do I mean by that? So if it would have been my first time on the portal, I would see the welcome tour. So this is exactly the end user experience that you will see if you access the portal for the first time and you want to and your end users know um, that like what can they do with the tool without actually training them and maybe like trying to automate this. Of course, in our professional services department, we will supply you with white label deck so you can place your logo and distribute it inside your organization. However, the animated guided tour is always better than a static slide deck. So basically, the end user experience looks like this. So you can go through like the welcome tour, and at the very end, if you go through all the steps, when the device is mapped, you are going to check your computer health. And as you can see, it gives me exactly the information that I'm like what makes like basically the proof that Atera's IT Autopilot is agentic. It knows that it talks to a specific device. It's not just giving you the basic device. It knows the device that it's talking to. And it's like, got it. Take me to the service portal. So at the very bottom of the page, sorry, I'll zoom out just a tiny bit. So let me start a new conversation. So, and also that your end users will be exposed to like the most basic actions, but let's start with something that lives in the chatbot realm, okay? So an easy task that an end user can do is to, and what you can do too, maybe let's say, uh, your like employee just started and for instance they cannot navigate well around the building and maybe they need to print something, and let's imagine that you're working in an industry where confidential printing is a thing. Well, And the end user might be questioning which printer should he or she get. Like what equipment is it equipped with? I mean, like the shredder. What is the printer? Is it like the black and white? Is it color? Where should I go? And if your office is several floors, this is exactly what makes a lot of people confused. And as you know, in most organizations, your desks are numbered, and so according to the proximity, it can make like an assessment, like how you should approach this. So I want to print a like confidential document and destroy it right after. So this is a chatbot capability. However, on top of just the basic response, it will also go into the thought process. Um, so I need guidance. It will give you guidance. So as you can see, it went into scanning your knowledge base. As a technician, I know that we have a centralized knowledge base article on the topic, and it will give me information on how to proceed. And as you can see, it gives you it gives the end user a short summary what needs to be done, and also even gives safety instructions, which is pretty cool. Nice touch. I didn't ask for the safety because I'm that type of a person. And also it gets you to the full version of the same article, which looks like this. So this is the naming convention, all the printers, IP addresses, and everything else. So as an IT person, you can fill it all in. You may have a document that you're currently updating, and also like any type of troubleshooting instructions, you can add them here. So the end user will know exactly what they need to do, and they can get either the short version or the long version. So this is the chatbot instruction, or let's do something more vague, like I'm going on a business trip. What do I do? So this has like I gave it like zero context about my organization, and now it's looking into the knowledge base and basically trying to retrieve the information that is valuable. Yeah, so as you can see, so this is the step-by-step instruction. Usually it's very stressful for anyone who is in the management position. Probably you are. And if you're traveling for business, if you're like on the road all the time, inside your country, or maybe you're traveling abroad for any type of setup, maybe you have branch offices. Usually business trips are stressful. It's not 100% IT. However, as I said at the beginning, all departments are welcome. And as you can see, we have a business travel almanac. For instance, you can invite your HR department. And I was like, I'm traveling to Canada. What's my daily allowance? And it will once again go into the like thought process. It will give you the exact uh, like value that is there because it's listed in the KB articles. And now I want to, yeah, so this is the equivalent. And also you can do something like convert the currency because you might be located in another country, don't understand what the Canadian dollar is. I need the DA to be converted to new Israeli shekel. I don't know. And I mentioned an acronym on purpose because the acronym DA was mentioned in custom instructions as an acronym which stands for daily allowance. And now it quickly understand, so approx value. So it asked me an extra question. And since it's not looking outside, so you can check that today's exchange rate, which is 2.11, as you can see, it's not looking outside. for security reasons, and because we're all about making a responsible AI development. And 2.7 was the number from, I think, about 3 months ago. But as you can see, it gave me exactly the value that I was looking for. Okay, what else can it do? So for the end user, there might be many issues, big or small, and we can start a new chat. And let me give you a very simple example. So how to understand that it actually talks to, let's do, let's go to the date and time. So as you can see, let me make it a little bit smaller so you can see it live. So sometimes when you install a fresh Windows 11, your end users might experience like a asynchronous like date and time. They might not match their region. It might be many things. And as you can see, the last time I did it was at 6:28 p.m. So maybe I didn't do it actually because it's now 6:37 and it synced on its own. So I need to resync clock. I will I will intentionally use bad grammar and maybe even do some typos on the way. And as you can see, it's like 6:28. And let's see, so it's thinking. Um, so I want, so maybe just, oops, sorry, refresh. So I'm putting my mouse at the specific place on the screen where we all should be looking. And as you can see, it switched from the scanning for knowledge base articles into the action mode. And now it's looking for an action which can do something to your laptop. And as you can see, action has been executed. And in the background, just let me know, yes, it confirms once again because it's sensitive action and certain software may log you out and will not let you in. Certain SSO products, certain security products are extremely careful about that. And the clock might sound like a minor thing. However, it might be huge. And as you can see, it did it in after like 7 seconds after I said the final yes. And yeah, there you have it. So this is one like quick example. So executing time saying it did it. Now it confirms that it did it successfully. Your computer clock has been refreshed and synced. And so yeah, so basically, and the ticket is like marked as solved, or you can just leave it. We have a setting that allows the nudges for the end users because end users seem to leave the ticket conversation as soon as they get help. You people from the industry may know it better than I do. So we're trying to prevent this from happening. So, and also, like we can do something that is like a very frequent one, which is restart Windows search bar. And many of you can attest to this, that it's like a very common issue, still deserves an IT ticket, still takes your time, and 10 such tickets, 5 minutes each, turns into an hour is a decent amount of money. And as you can see, it's like now searching for the action and doing what it's supposed to. So to wrap it up, you have, so yeah. Um, and as you can see, it executes actions. Certain actions require a little bit more. Okay. Let's do a retry. And while it's doing its thing, I wanted to show you something else. So certain actions take place locally on the device, and certain actions belong to your cloud environment. What do I mean by that? So it's capable of doing something more like heavy and like more technician oriented to reset the local user password on a laptop, to reset the Azure AD password, to log you out from the computer. And both end user and the technician, so end user can log into the platform from the mobile phone and just like lock my screen. So as you can see, it's like thinking, it goes into the action mode and does exactly the same. So it's searching for actions. It knows I'm on like on this PC, and since it knows the connection, it allows you to lock the screen. And this is something that AI can do, AI from Atera can do, and some other AI chatbots and wannabes cannot. Okay, we have like the outro part remaining. So, and probably before we get to the outro part, which I will pass the mic to Daniel. So, this is your answer to the question without the question, like what makes IT Autopilot unique? So, it's context aware, it's device aware, it's company aware, it knows your acronyms, your jargon, everything you have inside your organization, it puts it all together and tries to does its best to optimize your daily processes so you save time, which transitions into a freed up time to do more significant projects, being more productive, not being late for meetings. It will like restore like a randomly deleted document and many, many, many more things which you can do with it. And Daniel, so maybe the next slide is for you. Yeah, you're on mute. Daniel, you're on mute. Yeah.
I
Okay,
didn't pay
better.
attention on that.
I tried.
It was a great presentation by Dima and a great demo. And to sum up what Dima said is IT Autopilot today is the first and only natively AI agent for autonomous IT. What does it mean? As Dima said, it doesn't actually only answers like a chatbot, or it doesn't pull things from your knowledge base. That's not it. That's the basic. IT Autopilot can do things on your cloud and on your device per your request. And it actually cuts 80% of your tier one tickets, and it saves you 100% of your IT headaches. Things that you keep doing and doing and doing and you would like to put aside, IT Autopilot can take care of them. It's scalable, it's tailored to your company, it's boundless. You can instruct it to learn your lingo, to learn your company. There are many things that you can do with IT Autopilot.
Yeah, and most importantly, we have so many cool things to share on top of what we shared today. And as you might have noticed, today's webinar is just a part one, and we introduced you to the realm of what IT Autopilot can do. On our upcoming parts of this series, which is dedicated to IT Autopilot, we will give you more use cases, how you can put AI to good use and optimize it for your organization. Can you connect it to something else rather than Azure AD? The short answer is yes. Can you connect it to external source of information like SharePoint? The short answer is yes. And in the coming like parts of this series, we will demonstrate what is it also capable of. We will uh, maybe you can inspire us to like simulate some of your most common use cases and put it to the test so we can help you do your work better and your end user your colleagues to have a more pleasant time at work. That's probably about it from our side. So the Q&A time, I see Daniel, thank you so much for backing me up. I will just read some of those questions out loud, and but they were answered during the demonstration, but maybe I will repeat the answers. Um, so in regards to autopilot ticketing, whether it's email or through the customer portal. So it's Slack, Teams, portal, email at the moment. However, we expect something else in the future to expand the portfolio. Not saying you anything, no commitment. However, there are more cool things to come. So is there a way to obfuscate specific terms and keywords or redact files from being logged if the information contains specifically classified data sets or confidential? So first of all, you can separate the KB articles to be internal, like for technicians and for the end users. Something that we're also working on is in the realm of the integration to the, like for instance, like things like SharePoint, is to understand which person has like access to certain folders, and the approval flow will complement this in the nearest future. This is something that we're working on. So this is something that the confidential label might be involved into this process. So are we able to tune tune the keywords? Same answer here. Will the recording of this demo be available? Evan, the short answer is yes. There'll be a longer answer as soon as it's uploaded to the cloud.
We have
And that,
a survey for you. It
yeah,
takes less than a minute to answer. Thank you very
yeah,
much
you
for
can.
answering it.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. It was a very cool demonstration. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave the feedback, answer the survey. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it useful and learned something new.
Today we
And
show up some of the demos and use cases, and we will keep showing and having more webinars with Dima, showing more use cases and more capabilities of IT Autopilot.
yeah, so follow our atera.com/webinars to find out when's the next one. And during this quarter, we will be covering the IT Autopilot, IT Copilot, the core elements of the product, and everything in between. And you're more than welcome to participate in those sessions. And we will
And
try to
if you are
deliver the
already
best.
interested in taking a demo, you have a
Yeah,
button on the top of the screen to request a demo.
yeah, that is true. And last but not least, Tito is asking, is IT Autopilot separate from the AI Copilot pricing? So AI Copilot pricing is based off of technicians that you have in your system. The IT Autopilot, since it's not working with technicians directly, so it's not priced per technician, but per endpoint. And it's the only component in the tier which is priced per endpoint because it interacts with your end users. So, and this is something that we are inviting you to discuss with our sales team, and they will provide you more information on that. I hope I answered your question. Okay, so that's probably it. Thank you so much.
That's it. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining.
Yeah, thank you so much, and see you on the next one. Bye bye.